Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Weihrauch, and in today's episode, we're asking, do apologies kill art? This is prompted by something that's happened in the news recently when celebrity chef Jamie Oliver, who just released a new children's book, a follow-up to the first book that he released, which was a smash hit, only to eventually have his publisher reclaim it. Let me give you a little bit of the background. Jamie Oliver's book is about Billy and the Epic Escape. That's the title. It's about, among other things, a villain who kidnaps a girl in Australia, leading to an adventure to recover her. It's also a book full of magic because it exists in kind of a fantasy land mixed with our real world. It's a children's book. There are bad guys and magic and heroes and battles and all that kind of stuff. It's fiction, it's fantasy, it's fun. Only not according to some people in Australia. That's because some people have taken real offense to the book. They argue that because, apparently, in Australia's history, some Indigenous children were taken from their homes, that therefore Jamie Oliver's work makes light of that. They also argue that because in the book there's magic, that he's somehow making a connection between magic and the religion of Indigenous people in Australia, therefore belittling their worldview, mocking them, and just being derogatory. And if you're having trouble following along, it's not you, it's the story. That's because Jamie Oliver's book is a children's book. It's fantasy. It involves magic. It involves bad guys, obvious bad guys, kidnapping children. It doesn't have anything to do with the history of Australia. It takes place in Australia. It could have taken place in Virginia. It doesn't matter for the book. And magic isn't belittling any religion. It's absurd. It is ridiculous. In fact, it's even more ridiculous because the publisher of the book is now recalling the book, saying that they messed up, that they should have had someone from the Indigenous peoples of Australia read the book and approve it before it went out. Listen, it's art. Art that isn't even trying to represent reality. That's like saying that people shouldn't read Peter Pan because some kids really do run away from home, or that people shouldn't watch Mary Poppins because some people have had negative experiences with their babysitters. It would be one thing if Jamie Oliver's book was an attempt to rewrite the history of Australia, if it was making the actual bad guys into good guys and vice versa, but it's a fantasy book about magic. Listen, there's a proverb that I love from the book of Proverbs in the Bible, that it says that whoever strays from common sense ends up living in the company of the dead. I love that quote. It's got great sticker appeal. But even more so, do you know what doesn't exist in the company of the dead? Art. Literature. And that's what the quote is saying, is that when you talk about leaving reality, you end up in a world where no one can actually do or say anything until it's approved by the people out there who are offended by anything. Listen, we have to start pushing back against the nonsense of alleging that any artistic representation that coincides with any kind of reality isn't somehow demeaning people. Listen, not only is that absurd, it actually makes little of the things that do demean people. It blurs the argument. If everything is made to be demeaning, then the stuff that is actually demeaning doesn't actually get the attention that it should get negatively and pushing back against. The reality is that I wish Jamie Oliver didn't apologize for his book. I wish his publisher didn't recall it. I wish they would have told the people complaining to grow up, to stop making absurdist arguments that conflict a reality and fantasy. I wish they would say that they should stop distracting people from the actual problems of the world. That's because art should not apologize for being art. Fantasy is fantasy. Fiction is fiction. I can't believe I even have to say that. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. While you're here, we'd love to ask you to hit subscribe or to like so you get future content. If you listen to the audio version too, make sure you leave a review and a comment. That really helps. Consider sharing it on social media and helping us get the word out. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content that Christ Community Chapel is putting out, including the videos that are around me right now.